The exercise of the week this week is going to be a front plank. You might think this is pretty simple for an exercise of the week, but I see a lot of people doing front planks incorrectly, or they're just not maximizing the time that they're spending in a front plank. So let's talk about some of the coaching cues on how we teach the front plank to our clients, and then I'll give you a little tip on a tool you can use to create a better connection between your upper and your lower body if you notice that a front plank tends to put pressure in your low back, which I've had a couple people tell me, and we have a tool we can use. So unlike how most people set up for a front plank, we teach our clients to set up for a front plank starting on the ground. I have a pad here for my elbows. Depending on your tolerance, you don't need to use a pad. You can be on the ground, but today I'm going to use a pad. So I'm going to put my forearms on the pad, and I'm going to line up my elbows directly below my shoulders. Something we see is people putting their elbows slightly in front, and you'll notice now my upper arm is on an angle. I don't want that. I want my elbows directly below my shoulders, and I'm going to keep my hands flat because once I'm up, I'm going to want to create tension through my arms on the pad. If I were on the ground, it's the same thing. Hands are flat and open. My elbows are directly below my shoulders. So once you're here, we lay down on the ground. The next thing we tell our clients is that we want them to put their legs together and their heels together. The reason for this is that that's how we're going to create tension in the body before we go up into the front plank. I'm going to get the most out of doing a front plank if I can create as much tension as possible during the movement. So to do that, before I go up into my front plank, I'm going to squeeze the hell out of my legs. I'm going to squeeze my heels together. And then I'm going to drive straight down through my forearms and bring my body up in the air. And now I'm in my front plank position. I'm still squeezing my legs together. I'm squeezing my heels together. And if you probably can't see it, but I'm shaking a little bit. And that's because I've got lots of tension I'm creating in my body by having this connected position with my legs. I'll hold this for as much time as I can, but often we don't have anybody hold a plank longer than 1 minute. And the reason for that is simply use of your time. If you can plank for longer than a minute, at that point, I would probably tell you that we need to do some other version of a front plank or what they call anti-extension exercise to get more out of your time. I'm not going to have people plank for 3 minutes. What would be the point? To me, that would just tell me we need to advance that exercise for you. I mentioned a yoga block. Now, if you're someone who has a hard time creating tension in a front plank, or you just feel like your hips are always sagging and you're not able to get them up where you're in a straight line from your head to your heels, take a yoga block and you're going to put it right between your thighs. And once we're in this front plank, we're going to squeeze this yoga block, and that's going to help connect my upper body and my lower body and create a really nice core position with a ton of tension here. So with the yoga block here, I'm going to have my feet back. I'm going to squeeze the hell out of that yoga block, push through my forearms. And now while I'm squeezing that yoga block, I really feel that connection between my rib cage and my pelvis. And for most of our clients, when we do this, they no longer feel any of that sagginess in their low back, which can bother some people. So regardless of what version you do, the main things are we want a ton of tension in the body. It's almost like you want to squeeze your body so much that you're shaking a little bit. We want our elbows directly underneath our shoulders. And then if you can plank longer than a minute, at that point we need to find a progression of that front plank to challenge your core more so that we're not wasting time just sitting in a front plank. And that's the exercise of the week.